Welcome, everyone, to another Human Values Collective meditation. It strikes me that we have been doing some version of Sunday meditation for over 6 years, because we actually started this even before we had an official nonprofit organization 6 years ago. We originally had started practicing meditation online on Skype. Anybody remember Skype? That was a fun time. I still hear the Skype jingle in my head. Do dee dee do. Way back then, we started practicing meditation, and this was as a result of a group of us going to the school in Thailand, where we learned about education and human values. And education and human values is a way to practice universal human values like love, truth, peace, nonviolence, and right action. We call them universal human values because almost every culture around the world has some approximation of these 5 universal human values: love, truth, peace, nonviolence, and right action. So when we practice those in our daily lives, and we'll talk about how to do that in our half-hour session together today, we really bring out the best in ourselves. We bring out behavior that has a positive impact on the world and everyone lucky enough to be close to us. We feel better. We have a better relationship with ourselves and other people are inspired by our example. So that's why we practice education and human values. And meditation is one of the core, we call them teaching techniques. So there's a mantra or a thought of the week, story, group activity, song, and of course meditation. I actually started practicing meditation when I was 6 years old. My family, when we lived in the Dominican Republic, belonged to a yoga community. And that's where I started learning meditation at 6 years old. I remember giving a cloth offering to a guru, and he gave me my own mantra. And that's when I started practicing meditation, just repeating the mantra over and over again. So for me, it's been a long journey, and I went away from it for a long time, and then I got really anxious and sad and depressed as I was starting my educational journey. I just wanted my students to be happy, but I realized how unhappy I was. And so my teacher taught me about education and human values and taught me about meditation, and I relearned how to do meditation. And it helped me a lot with my negative thoughts about myself and my negative thoughts about other people. And I still have negative thoughts. To this day, I still have insecurities. I still have times where I feel like I'm not good enough. But the difference now is that I have a response for every negative thought that comes through to my head. The Tibetan word for meditation is to become familiar with. So when we're practicing meditation, we're becoming familiar with our mind and how our mind works. And this is the work that I've been doing for the last more than 6 years, 7 years. When I brought meditation into my classroom, I'm a high school music teacher. And in high school, it's a particularly stressful time for teenagers just trying to figure out, how do I fit in the world? There's a lot of anxious thoughts. There's a lot of self-doubt, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of depression. So what I teach my students about is how the mind works and why the mind is sometimes very, very negative is because, well, it's the 2 million-year-old part of our brain that hasn't evolved in 2 million years. And it's the same structure and architecture from when we were cave people. And our primary job of the brain and the mind was our survival. So even to this day, that part of our brain and our mind is it only cares about our survival. So in order to do that, it is constantly looking for danger. But the problem with that is, I don't know about you, but it's been a while since I was running away from a woolly mammoth or a saber-toothed tiger, 2 million years ago. So now it's like, oh, a test feels like danger, or a conversation with this person feels like danger, raising my hand in class feels like danger. But we're not actually in danger, are we? But our body feels like it's in danger. So the process of meditation is in those times where we feel like we're in danger, where our brain is saying danger, is for us to become familiar with our mind, and that our mind is just trying to keep us safe, and for us to say to our mind, it's okay, I'm safe. And that's what we're training. That's the skill we're training when we practice meditation. So hopefully all of that makes sense. And I'm happy to stay on after if people have questions, but just as a little explanation of why are we doing meditation, we're becoming familiar with our mind so that when our mind perceives danger, we can remind our body and our mind that we're not actually in danger and have a way to calm down so that we can do all the lovely things in life and enjoy life. So having said all that, we're going to do a lovely meditation tonight. It's called the light meditation. And we're using the light as a symbol because the subconscious mind understands images and symbols much more easily than it understands words. So we're going to use a light as a symbol that represents all the things that are good in the world and in life, including love, truth, peace, nonviolence, and right action. So at this time, if you're sitting in a chair, put your feet flat on the floor. You can, if you're sitting on the floor, sit cross-legged or lotus position or easy pose. And then take your hands like little cups and put them on your lap or wherever they fall naturally. This is sending a signal to the subconscious mind that we're ready to receive a lot of goodness. If you concentrate better by closing your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes right now. The reason we close our eyes in meditation, have you ever gone to a concert and you close your eyes or you notice other people closing your eyes? It's just a thing that helps us to like listen better and listen deeper to the music. So that's why we would close our eyes during meditation. But if you'd like to keep your eyes open, that's fine too. Just pick something to look at, a spot on the wall or the corner of a painting, or just look at one specific spot to keep that concentration. And as I am guiding you through this meditation, just imagine you're repeating the words to yourself so that it's like you're guiding the meditation for yourself, because in meditation, you are the one that's in charge. You are the one who's practicing meditation. You are the one who gets to say, how do I feel after meditation? You get to be the one who says, did the meditation feel useful to you? You're the one who gets to say, I want to practice again or not. You are in charge of the meditation and no one else. It's between you and you. So the first thing to do is to imagine on the floor around you that you're drawing a nice big circle, arm's length in diameter, and just imagine you're drawing a circle of golden white light around you. This is kind of like you're claiming your space, and this is sending a message to your subconscious mind that nothing can go into this space. This is your own space, and nothing can interrupt. This is a space that's for you and you. Now, as you feel relaxed in this space, you relax even more. If you want to, you can bring this circle up like a cylinder lifting up out of the ground. So it's like a cylinder of light around you for just a little bit of extra protection from the outside world. But make sure that the top of the cylinder is open so that we can receive all of the good energy that we're going to get from doing this meditation together. Now, imagine us in a circle. It feels so good to imagine a group of really awesome people together in a circle. And imagine that at the center of the circle, maybe on a little stool or a little chair, is a little candle. And imagine the candle is lit and that flame of the candle represents everything that is good for everyone in the world, including love, truth, peace, nonviolence, and right action. And now imagine that light shining in all directions, and imagine that light, a little beam of light, shines from the candle and lands on your forehead. Imagine your forehead just getting nice and warm and tingly and gooey, almost like how you feel in front of a fireplace, that nice, warm, cozy feeling in your head. And we're gonna invite that light to come fully into our head. And the reason we're doing that is because sometimes, again, because our mind is wired for survival, it needs an update, just like our phone needs to be updated. We're updating our mind right now. We're bringing that light in so that it can shine on any of those dark and negative thoughts, because where there is light, there can be no darkness. If you have a dark room and you flip on the light switch, all the shadows disappear. So similarly, invite that light into your head and imagine that your head is filled with light, and watch all the shadows, all the dark thoughts evaporate instantly and disappear. Imagine that light in every cell, every muscle, every organ, every bone of your head, every part of your head filled with light. Now, bring that light like a little candle flame from the center of your head, and imagine it moving down like an elevator, down into your mouth, into your throat, slowly into your chest. And imagine the elevator of light stopping right at the center of your chest, where your heart is. And where your heart is, and let's imagine there's a little flower there with a bud that is closed, and as that light makes contact with the flower, imagine the flower blossom and open, petal by petal by petal, till it is completely open. Feel your heart become completely open. And here we're going to ask that light that just a second ago illuminated our head, imagine that light illuminates our heart. And we're going to ask the light to help us to feel good. That it's okay to feel good. Sometimes there's this idea that we have that it's not okay to feel good, because what if something happens and then I don't feel good anymore? But we're gonna ask that light to help us to feel good and remind us that it's okay to feel good. It's actually great to feel good, because when we feel good, we help other people around us feel good too. It's also okay to feel sad and to feel lonely and to feel all of those feelings too. There's nothing wrong with feeling those feelings. But just like we have to practice our musical instrument in order to get good at it, Just like we have to practice our writing and our speaking to get good at them, in the same way we can practice feeling good. And the more we practice, the better we get, the more consistent we are, and then we too can shine just like the candle and give light everywhere we go. So now we're making this agreement that it's okay to feel good, and we feel our light just beaming from our heart center, illuminating the room around us. And now imagine that light spreading, shining throughout your chest, and imagine like a nice, warm, gooey, cozy feeling moving past your shoulders, into your arms, past your elbows, forearms, wrists, and into your hands and fingers. Now imagine that your hands and your fingers are filled with light. Let's ask that light to help us to do good actions, to do things that will feel good to have done, to do good things for ourselves, and to do good things for other people. And why do we want to do good things? Yes, it is nice to do good things. But the other reason is, when we do good things, we think good thoughts. And when we think good thoughts, we feel good. And when we feel good, we do more good things. And this is a positive loop that we can get into and build this momentum and keep doing good things and feeling good things and thinking good things. And when we get into that momentum, that's really what creates a very happy life. And then you're happy more often, and other people feel happy just by being close to you. You don't have to do anything. And this is another way we're shining our light. And we're making the world a better place just by sitting there, just by being there. Other people feel that warm feeling that comes from you. And that is very powerful. It's a beautiful gift to be able to give to those lucky enough to be close to you. Now let's imagine that light traveling from our hands, down our legs, past our knees, past our shins and calves, our ankles, and into our feet and toes. Imagine that your feet are filled with light, and we're going to ask the light to help us to walk to good places and meet good people. We're going to thank our feet for carrying us everywhere that we go. We're going to ask the light to help us to move and walk bravely towards the goal of our life, whatever that may be. Surely to bring more love and more peace and more joy into the world just by being ourselves. And that feels really good to know I don't have to do much. I kind of just have to show up and just be myself, and that helps. That helps people. And that's such a good thing to know. All right, and now let's go back up. Let's imagine at the base of our spine that the light is traveling up each and every vertebrae, and maybe you have some pain in your back. A lot of us carry a lot of pressure, and even if it's only emotional pressure or stress, it actually can have feel like a lot of weight on our back. So as that light is traveling up each and every vertebrae, feel that it is feeling each vertebrae as it's moving up. And maybe you feel that there are fingers of light massaging your shoulders and your back and the back of your neck, where a lot of people carry stress, and just feel you're relaxing into your back and your neck. And now imagine the light moving up a little bit more into your mouth. And now imagine that your mouth is filled with light. We're going to ask that light to help us to say good things to ourselves and to others, to be impeccable with our word. Our word is actually so powerful, much more powerful than we realize. So we're going to make an agreement right now, and we're going to ask the light to help us to say only kind things about ourselves. It's very common, although dysfunctional, it's very common to say negative things about yourself, whether it's out loud or in your head. We sometimes normalize saying negative things about ourselves. Well, our body is always listening, and our body believes our word. So we want to be very mindful of the kind of language we're using, whether we're talking to ourselves about ourselves, or where we're thinking about other people or talking about other people. The more positive language we use, the more we grow into very beautiful, very happy people. And when we speak positively about others, even if others are exhibiting behaviors we don't like, if we speak positively about them, they will grow into those positive characteristics that we speak about them. That's what the word abracadabra means. We may hear that magicians use that word, but abracadabra means I speak and it becomes true. So let's be very careful to say only good and kind things, to bring more goodness and kindness into the world. Now let's bring the light into our ears, and imagine that your ears are filled with light. And in a similar way, let's ask the light to help us to only hear good and kind things, to listen to others when they say kind things about us. Because sometimes when people say very kind things about us, again, because our brain is programmed for, up until now, our brain is programmed for negativity. Even when someone says something kind to us, we sometimes don't actually hear it or receive it. We don't believe them. Well, what helped me is to think of this. When they say kind things to me, they're just sharing love. They're just wanting to give me love. So even if my mind doesn't want to agree with what they're saying, at the very least, I can hear and receive the love that they're giving me. And that's a good first step. So hear and receive the love in other people's words. Now let's bring the light up to our eyes and imagine that your eyes are filled with light. And let's ask that light to help us to see the good in others and see the good in ourselves. There's so much good in people if we take the time to look. If we look with illuminated eyes. And sometimes, again, because our brain up until now is wired for negativity, what we first see are our judgments of other people. And that is not as useful, because if we see the flaws in other people, we also see the flaws in ourselves more quickly. But if we practice this and we practice seeing the good in other people, guess what? We're going to also see the good in ourselves. It is a two-way street. So let's ask the light for help, because sometimes we need help. Sometimes we need reminders. I need lots of reminders. Help me to see the good in other people and to see the good in myself. What we pay attention to grows, like watering a plant. We put water on the plant and the plant grows. Whatever we pay attention to grows. So let's pay attention and see the good in others and in ourselves so that goodness grows. You're doing such a great job. Let's do one more step, which is we're going to bring the light to the top of our head. And imagine sending the light out in the form of love and kindness. You can think of it as like a bubble expanding, a bubble of light expanding and growing and growing and growing. And that every person that this light touches is receiving your love and your kindness. And they may not know why, but all of a sudden they feel joy, they feel love, they feel peace. And now imagine sending that light to every person in the world, regardless of class, color, or creed. So let's send the light to every realm of nature, every animal, every bird, every insect, every mountain, every tree, every blade of grass, every lake, every river, and every ocean, till the entire world is filled with light. Now let's push that light beyond the boundaries of our planet, to every planet, to the sun, to other solar systems, to other galaxies, to the entire universe, till everywhere imaginable is filled with light. And let's repeat this to ourselves. I am in the light. The light is in me. I am the light. This is how big and how beautiful and how bright you actually are. So let's just rest in this feeling of this bigness for just a couple moments. Now keep this feeling of your bigness, and at the same time, look once more at your little flower at the center of your chest. That luminous, beautiful flower that's open, ready to love and receive love. And let's say thank you to that flower that's always there, it's always been there. And from this day forward, let's make an agreement to keep shining, so that we may illuminate the path for anyone who is walking close by, so that others can also feel how awesome and loving and radiant and beautiful they are. And this will be a great gift that you give to the world. Take a deep breath in and out. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, stretch out your arms and legs, stretch in any way that feels good. And slowly start to open your eyes as you reacquaint yourself with your surroundings. This is part of the process of exiting the meditation, as you remind yourself of where you are, because we just went on a whole journey across the universe, but now we're back where we started, with all of those benefits that we received from the meditation. So go ahead and write below in the comments, how do you feel after this meditation? Be completely honest, and let's see, how did that make you feel? And maybe this is something that you can practice again, whether it's with us or watching the recording later, and something that you can share with your friends. And that way you're continuing to make a lovely impact on the world. This is such a beautiful part of this work is we're taking care of ourselves first, right? But then the more we take care of ourselves, we really become teachers for other people, because other people will see how relaxed and calm you are, and they'll be like, why are you so calm? Why are you so happy all the time? And then you get to tell them, practicing meditation. Why don't you practice with me? So the last thing we'll do in our last minute together here is review the value of the week. So one of the main ways that we practice together in the Human Values Collective is we send an email out every single week on Sunday and say, hey, this is how we practice together. Here's the value of the week that we're all practicing together. So through the lens of nonviolence, this week we are practicing self-advocacy. The thought of the week is, I ask for what I need. So let's say that together, that thought of the week. 1, 2, ready, go. I ask for what I need. Ooh, that feels good to say, yeah? And your objective as you practice this week is to practice feeling comfortable in asking for what you need. Remember that when you ask for what you need, other people's reaction are not your responsibility. Be open to people saying no, but continue to stand up for yourself and ask for what you need in life. Many of the people who get opportunities in life, it's because they asked. But sometimes we don't feel like we're good enough to ask, or that we don't deserve what we want. And again, our mind is just trying to keep us safe. So it will come up with all these reasons why we should not ask for what we need. But especially after doing such a lovely meditation like we just did, and reminding ourselves of how valuable we are and how big and powerful we are, that will give us the strength to advocate for ourselves. It is not selfish to ask for what you need. Actually, if you ask for what you need, if you have that courage, remember, other people are always watching you, and other people will be inspired by you advocating for yourself. That is why your example is your greatest teaching to the world. Along with our value of the week, in our emails, we have a meditation recording, we have a song, an activity, a story, and many other ways that you can practice the value of the week, this week being self-advocacy. So we invite you to practice with us every single week, whether it's signing up for the emails, I'll put the link right here, whether it's showing up to Sunday night meditation, whether it is watching the recording of our meditations on YouTube, or all of the many other ways. It's our pleasure to serve you, because if you feel good, well, I consider that a job well done for me. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. It's always a joy to practice with you. And in a world where there's so much happening, where there's a lot of chaos, when we come together and practice meditation, when we come together and remember how awesome and valuable we are, when we practice feeling good, that is having a positive impact on the world. It truly is. So the work that you're doing here is helping the whole world. Trust and believe. You've made today an amazing day just by you being you. There's no one like you in the whole world, and I like you just the way you are. If we can work together in peace and harmony, if we can work together, the I and you are we. If we can work together in peace and harmony, yes, if we can work together, how happy we will be. Have a great rest of your day and have a wonderful and powerful week, everyone. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.